So Mexico and England booking an early flight home. Welcome to ESPN SoccerNet Press Pass. Putting on a brave face today, I'm Alison Bender, alongside Tommy Smith and Janusz Mihalik. Of course, this tournament, though, will perhaps be remembered today for two high-profile blunders by the referee and linesman. How damaging, Tommy, do you think this is for the tournament?
Well, it has to be damaging, Alison. I mean, we've had bad calls in World Cups before, but, you know, if you set yourself up as the World Cup being the pinnacle of your sport, you should be able to get it right when you get to the pinnacle. They obviously didn't get it right. I mean, England were robbed of a goal. I mean, this is not even an educated guess. You know, sometimes the ball ends up in the back of the net and you're guessing it was there, it wasn't there. I mean, there's no educated guess in this thing. It's an absolute fact. And I think that FIFA have just, they're like the ostrich, you know, they put their head in the sand and they think that nobody sees what's going on. Come on, Sepp Blatter needs to wake up a little.
Yeah, we're going to get into that in a second, but talking of that Frank Lampard disallowed goal, Neuer, the goalkeeper, has had this to say. I think this is quite incredible. He says, I tried not to react to the referee and just concentrate on what was happening. I realised it was over the line, and I think the way I carried on so quickly fooled the referee into thinking it was not over. What do you make of that, guys?
Well, if I was him, I wouldn't be making statements like that, obviously. I mean, you know, it was pretty obvious that the goalkeeper knew exactly what he was doing and he was going to get the ball out of there. And I'm not sure that any of us would react any differently. Yeah. But don't come out in the press afterwards and make an idiot of yourself.
It's a bit like the Thierry Henry handball, is it? I mean, no one's really going to say, you know, admit it at the time, especially on such a big decision as well, through to the quarterfinals.
Yeah, it's pressure. You know, there's time for goal line technology. For me, I know, you know, many feel that there's more that needs to be done. I think it takes time, but, you know, sometimes the worst part is to take the first step, and that's something that FIFA is refusing to do. And, you know, our game is about goals, and this is why it's important. And there aren't that many goals in the sport, so when they are scored properly, I think they should be counted. So from that standpoint, I don't think we differ in any of that, and I think now is the time that we should do it. Other than that, you know, some of these things will be forgotten. The game has survived over, you know, how many years, and you know, sometimes these facts hide the real thing. Is that in both cases?
No, they're never hidden. They're never hidden. If you were looking at the game today, every time it went to something else, they were showing the goal that was or wasn't way back in 1966. I mean, or whatever year it was. It's never hidden, Janusz. I don't buy into this stuff. I don't buy into just we have to have goal line technology, because the reason why I don't buy into it is the Thierry Henry handball, which started all this controversy, even with goal line technology, it still wouldn't have solved it. It wouldn't have solved it at all, and it certainly wouldn't have solved the problem in the other game. And Mexico were absolutely robbed of a goal that was offside. So I think what we should do, Alison, right? Yeah. This is what I think we should do.
Then, you tell us.
I think we use goal line technology, and we also use offside technology, and we give a manager one shot at a game. You can ask the referee to check one decision during the game. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
I think the most important thing about this game of ours is not goals. The most important thing about our game is that we have it right.
Okay, so if that happens, if there's once you one decision and two others happen, how are they?
That's your tough luck.
Well,
that's your tough luck.
It's tough luck, but it's still a bad decision. It doesn't solve it. So where do you stop? I mean, tough luck. This is tough luck right now. Why give one if you're not going to consider a second one?
This is not tough luck. This is stupidity. This is stupidity.
So if this
is not tough luck.
Okay, so if it happens twice in a game, the second one will be okay because you've taken your first one, right? So the second time the ball goes over, in your mind, it's going to be okay because the rule says
I'm not saying that.
Tommy,
I'm not solving the problem.
Why does there have to be a limit? If it's not going to stop the flow of the game, if it's going to be quick, why can't we just have video replays? You know, just what 10 seconds it's going to take?
Because there are guys like him in the world who won't listen to it. That's exactly why we won't have it. There are guys like on FIFA who will never listen to it.
I gave you a legitimate point that you have no answer to.
No, I do have an answer to it. You just didn't give me a chance to do it. What I'm telling you is this. You're not going to solve it completely. You're not going to solve it completely, but you're going to take some of it away. And it's a start. You know, the people used to think the world was flat, and people started to realise it wasn't.
I heard
so somewhere you start.
So, so how do you solve players from Latin American countries, any players that are diving all the time and causing bad decisions?
You don't.
Oh, so that's okay?
No, that's not okay. How many times does players diving cause a goal? You're talking about this game wants goals all the time. Come on, Janusz, you're talking about two different things.
Okay, hold on, one more thing. So if you dive 3 times in a game for a penalty, How is that different from anything that you just described?
It's up to the referee to see it.
Right.
The referee's standing there to describe
But
it.
you say the referee needs help, and sometimes they can't see it.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
but by having a video of a replay of somebody diving, you're never going to prove he dived. But I can prove that you're a yard offside, or I can prove that it's
I can prove a dive without video technology. Replay will let me know if it's a dive or not. I've been in the game long enough to know if it's a dive or not.
Okay, this could be debated for hours if we had enough time in the show. But the big thing is that, do you think that FIFA are going to do something about it, particularly because of this high-profile incident?
Well,
I mean, so far they've said that they are. Well, the comment is that they're not making any comment, basically.
Yeah, well, I mean, if they don't, I mean, there's a simple solution. Just tell them you're not going to play. I mean, some of the big countries have to.
Happen,
well, you don't know if it's never going to happen. No, you can't never say nothing's ever going to happen. I mean, our game at the moment, we are the laughing disgrace of everybody who hates soccer around the world is saying, look it, you see what yous are doing. Look what yous are doing. You can't make up your mind whether it's a goal. You can't make up your mind if it's not a goal. You can't make up your mind if it's offside. You don't have officials who know. Come on, guys, you've got to wake up and do something about it.
Look, two things. I mean, there's not that many around the world that hate soccer. I think it's a global sport. Everybody loves it. So it'll be in their interest to make sure it changes. What's going to change it is there's a lot of money involved in football. And I think eventually FIFA is not going to change that, but what needs to happen is you need to have the big companies like the Skies, the ESPNs of the world, whatever it may be, the German television saying, we're just paying way too much to get this back at us. It needs to be much, much better. We have the technology. We're showing the game. We have plenty of cameras to see it, and we can help you.
Again, my friend, I think you're all wrong. This game should not be about money. This game should not be about the money that's involved in it. But it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. That doesn't make it right just because
that is a whole different
people claim it is.
It shouldn't be. I mean, the newspaper articles tomorrow, I mean, I'm looking at some of the English newspapers, News of the World.
You shouldn't read that, Alison. It corrupts your mind reading that stuff.
The tournament, independent Lampard goal that never was, mask shortcomings, and the Mirror bringing video technology. So already this is going to start. Do you think that this will create enough pressure, or will it die down like it has in the Champions League in the past?
No, it's not dying. This time it's not dying. I don't care what anybody... This time it is not dying. This time it is not going away. And FIFA blew it. When the Thierry Henry situation blew up, the whole world wanted some kind of video replay. FIFA had a meeting, whatever the technical committee is, technical my foot, and they had the chance that time to say, OK, we're going to change something in the game, and instead they said, no, we're not going to change anything. Our game is fine. There's nothing wrong with it. That's how we're going to play the World Cup. And I did an onion bag on it many, many months ago that this is exactly what I envisioned happening in a World Cup, that somebody was really going to have their opportunity in a World Cup final. And I feel so bad for players. You spend 2 years trying to qualify. You spend your whole life dreaming of playing in a World Cup final, and then some idiot comes and takes it away from you.
Janusz, I want to find out what your thoughts are. The fact that this is on such a big stage, and there's a lot of new people watching the World Cup that maybe aren't necessarily into football. What kind of impression does that give them of the game?
Yeah, of course they'll question it, but you know, it's always down to the majority, and the majority, I think, have been, you know, and I'm not saying it's a good thing, but they've been used to it. That's how it goes sometimes. Quality's going to come over, you know. Let me give you an example, and I'm not saying that this is right. I still think that the call should be made, but you know, those are going to happen, and good teams react and try to get it back. Look at the United States. They had 2 goals disallowed, yet they found a way to come back. Adversity, that's what happens in the game. And look at England, 2-1. Yes, was this psychological blow? Probably, absolutely. Nobody likes that. But they've done nothing in the second half to right it. Yeah, England could have been 4-0 up before this goal happened.
You're always telling me about tactics. This wasn't just psychological. This was tactical. The 2 English fullbacks had to push up all the time. If the score is 2-2, the 2 English fullbacks sit in for the rest of the game, and they try to get the game to extra time.
Let me give you an example. On the 3rd goal, it was a set piece for England.
Right.
On any team tactically, when you have a set piece and your center half takes it, there are roles that are assigned to players. They had nobody back. They got cut on the counterattack. That was just unbelievable.
Because they couldn't catch up to them. They were tired from pushing up all the time. They wouldn't have done that.
It's a set piece, Tom. You get assigned a role and you need to stay back.